What's up, gang? Irony Troll here on the Australia Oceanic dedicated eco server. Just with a quick tutorial today, just to give a bit of knowledge around the law system and how to get your way around it a bit better. I notice a common discussion is that many players are not familiar with a lot of the civics systems in eco, and I would love to encourage more people to use it. I think it's an amazing system. I think the devs have done a wonderful job in trying to flesh out more material with it, more content, and yeah, let's get into it. So we've got our little login area here. When you log in, this is the first thing that you're going to see. It's going to be a bunch of signs telling you some basic information about the world. Now, we have a varying amount of players that join. We have brand new players as their first time playing the game, and we also have experienced people who have well and truly over 2,000 hours in the game. Sometimes it's good to get a refresher, sometimes it's good to know a little bit about stuff. So we've got a sign here that basically says, you've never played with laws before? You would be surprised how many people have never played with the civic system in Eco. As it says there, check out some laws, press L. Now, I'm going to break this down into two components. The first component is people who write laws. I might leave that to... I actually might do that section first, just to be very clear. To the people who write laws, it might not be as applicable to those new players who've just joined. So if you've just joined and you don't know much about the game, hold on tight. I'll get through that bit of content and then I'll show you a bit about how to read it. So first things first, our L menu, when you press L on your keyboard, it's going to open up a bunch of government information. This stuff is very overwhelming to new people, but I'll try to smooth it over. It's probably the most important feature in this user interface, to be able to see what's going on, how to check laws, and how to basically find out information about laws. So first things first, let me jump into it. Let's talk about people who are making laws, because it's very relevant to people who will read laws. They're kind of very much intertwined. So we're going to go into our government building here. And we're going to go to a court that has a slot available to create a law. Let's just pick one, any, it's okay. Maybe this one. Oh no, this has a lot of laws. Let's try the next one. Here we go. This one has a spare one. Okay, so what we're going to do for those people who are writing laws, very, very specific. When you are drafting a law, it is very, very important that the title match what you're trying to achieve. So for example, if there's a law about logging, we'll call it a logging act or something similar. This helps players identify what the law is about. We could put a description into it. Now, I think a common thing that people do is they want to make laws about cutting down trees, for example. So we just put a description in here. You know, this act is about, chopping trees. It's very important that you put your descriptions in here, and then obviously you do your triggers. Now, I'm not going to write a law in here. I think that's an entirely different tutorial. But the biggest thing I want to discuss with those people writing laws is do your descriptions. If this law is about tailings, put in your description what it's about. It's going to lead me right into my next point for you new guys who are playing, who don't know how to read laws yet, and who want to learn. It's very, very important. So whatever the law is, put a description in. I'm going to exit out of this for a minute. I'm just going to delete that. For those people who are reading laws, let's go back to our L menu, and we can see the legislation tab just here. This, on the left, is all of the current elections in progress, and I would recommend you check this almost every day or every second day, just to see what is being proposed. Secondly, everything is tooltips. Tooltips are your best friend. At the moment, when you see Farming Incentives Revision Act just there, it doesn't really tell you much. You don't know what it is. But there are hyperlinks in the text there where you can put your cursor on them and it will tell you what the new law is about. And this is very, very important. You have to be able to read these to understand what's happening. And this comes back to the people who are making laws. It's very important, you guys making laws, and girls, to put your descriptions in each section. If you do not, people will not understand what it's about, because this jargon under here is actually quite complicated for those who don't know what it means. So, for example, if you would like to know about this one here, the Newcomer Act, it says right here, we've put a actual description in to say when a newcomer should join, they receive some initial investment to help them get set up. The coding for this is that the federal government, the Treasury, will actually pay a player $200 when they first log in. Very helpful to help them get started and help them maybe buy food or tools or material. As it says there, it's all in tooltips. Federal Welfare Act, as you can see, we've put in the white text here. Welfare payments are made for delivering services for the government, paid by the citizens of the world. There is a dedicated welfare bank account as not to interfere with the general operations of taxation and other payments. Again, you put your cursor on it and you might get a bit more information than what you can see down here. Now, for example, this law here, the federal welfare tax, it says here, mowing the common grass around the Capitol building will result in a payment. You are literally translating all of that jargon underneath it, if, action, location, inside, blah, and citizen, blah, and all that jargon. You make it simple for the person who doesn't know the law to turn it into a brief statement, and they should be able to identify what to do. So for this one, it says right here, on event, harvest or hunt where species is common grass, and the action is located inside the Capital District, which again is a reference to another civics item. If the person has citizen, which is a reference to a demographic, if not destroying, but just harvesting, again, conditions, we will then pay the citizen 50 cents from the welfare account, which is a reference. So it's a reference upon a reference upon a reference upon a reference. Sounds very very complicated, very overwhelming. Have some patience, read the descriptions, ask if you're not sure. Tax can obviously be a big one. We have a very big tax law at the moment. It is very complicated, and we're in the process of amending it. But again, it's very complicated, but you have to use your descriptions. In instances where I haven't used my descriptions, people find it very confusing. But you have to read the laws to understand them. If you're not sure on a law and you don't ask and you don't try to read them yourself, you will struggle, I think, to understand the systems that are in play on the world, and it may have an impact on your well-being in the server. You might not enjoy yourself as much because things are happening and you don't know about them. Tool subsidies, interesting. It says a big description there that we have a tool shop. People can sell iron and steel to the tool shop, and it allows you to go and use the tool shop for free to repair your tools, and sort of prevents you from stealing the iron and the steel back. A lot of text here. I don't expect everybody to read all this straight away, but it is very important. Can't stress it enough. Put your descriptions in the laws. And for those of you who don't know anything about law, have a read of those descriptions. Ask the question. We're here to help. That's what we do. Hopefully that helps you guys out, and I'll see you in the next one.